Hey guys, Randy Potato here, and today I'll tell you the absolute best early unlocks in the new progression update for Darkest Dungeon 2. Let's move directly to what I consider the most important early section, the Living City, which contains hero unlocks. If you're a returning player on an existing file, you should be starting off with 20 candles. If not, I'm assuming your first trip to the altar, you at least managed to pick up 4 or so candles. The absolute best early purchase is putting 4 candles to get Plague Doctor's annotated textbook and Surgeon Path. This is still the strongest hero path in the game, supplemented by hero trinkets solely designed for said path that requires 0 additional unlocks to get full potential out of. With the way the Altar of Hope works, you will not be able to use this path until your next run, but you will immediately receive the trinket which can help carry your current run. Both the Grave Robber and Man-at-Arms have mediocre early unlocks, but Highwayman's early upgrades are Rat Skull and Rogue, both of which are fantastic. Still, I suggest saving your candles for a bit more diversity. New hero unlocks cost 4, and I suggest at least a couple early on, not only to give the game more variety, but also as backups that can replace dead heroes at ends. The Hellion is IMO the strongest unlock here. Especially with the way the new Seething Psi mechanics work, she is near irreplaceable as a damage dealer. An additional 4 candles here gets you Bloodied Branch and Ravager, which is still the second strongest path in the game, but assuming a budget of 20 candles or less, here there are probably better unlocks. The second best hero unlock is either the Occultist or Runaway, but I trend towards the Occultist. This gives you a back row damage, utility, and backup healer. Runaway offers the same, but without her dot scaling trinkets unlocked, she can be decidedly average. For subsequent trips to the altar, I suggest unlocking at least 1 to 2 new ones each visit until they're all unlocked, and getting at least 1 new path. You can refer to my video showing a tier list of hero paths to make a decision on which early paths are best. Let's quick talk about the Bounty Hunter. This is not a regular hero, but a new mercenary mechanic that allows you to pick up a powerful hero for one region at the cost of candles. While I know a lot of people were excited to see this fan favorite return, this is an absolutely massive waste of your early candles. It costs 5 candles just to unlock a chance to run into him at an inn, where he'll steal an additional 4 candles. While he's definitely stronger than the other heroes, he's not significantly better, and is quite boring without his full unlock tree, which costs 45 candles. I know everyone wants to play him since he is the new content, but a winning strategy is to ignore him until you have a few mountains under your belt and are closer to the mid-endgame as far as progression. Your next target should be the Intrepid Coast. This tab includes stagecoach and inventory upgrades, relic and loot boosts, cosmetics, and allows you to unlock the Infernal Flame. You begin your profile with 1 stagecoach slot and a tiny inventory, so upgrades here are decent. It costs 3 to get an extra stagecoach space, and another 3 for a basic inventory boost. Assuming a budget of 20, you should have already spent 12 on the heroes, so this would run you almost out of candles. Without additional unlocks, this upgrade is unnecessary at this stage. I'd wait until you receive your first win or first batch of large candles at least before moving forward here. Next up is Resourcefulness, which gives you a relic and bauble boost along with free items at certain locations. The first upgrade gives you an astounding 24 relics and 20 baubles for the Valley Hoarder in exchange for 5 candles. This is an incredible boost, even early with few unlocks. Assuming the previous budget of 20 and 12 spent on heroes, this is an acceptable choice on your first altar trip. The second upgrade gives 12 relics at each additional hoarder stop, not counting the valley. This is usable but far, far weaker, and I would much rather pick up more heroes and paths and fill this out later. Finally, let's move to the Infernal Flame. This costs a pricey 25 candles, and in return you can do future runs on hard mode and get a strong boost in candle rewards in exchange. Obviously you can't get this with your 20 candle start. If you are an Infernal veteran from previous patches, I suggest this be your first unlock once you secure your first win and the 60 plus candles that should accompany said win. If you are a more casual player and not an Infernal veteran, I'd wait until you have a full roster and some paths unlocked, along with comfortable wins on both acts before attempting this difficulty. The Working Fields is the gacha game loot box element, where you can unlock an entirely random trinket, combat item, stagecoach upgrade, or in item. Each unlock costs 1 candle, and in addition to the permanent unlock, you also receive the item immediately for your current run. With this mechanic in mind, dumping a small, balanced amount of candles here is the most efficient path. Stagecoach items early are almost entirely worthless with only one slot, which you likely want to fill with the base storage trunk. There are also a large amount of dud unlocks here. I wouldn't touch this for your first 3 to 4 trips. In items are interesting. My strategy here is to spend a few of your points here searching for one of the 3 food items, which boost your max HP. Once you find food, I'd move on to the more important tabs. That said, it's not an awful dump to try and force an early squad to the second inn. Base in items are pretty good, but the base gives you mostly affinity and stress relief, and not stat boosts. Combat items are a tricky subject. Obviously they can be clutch, but are a one-time use, can clog inventory, and base combat items are actually pretty strong. Diluting the pool early can make getting more necessary items harder. I always spend a few points here. The main early unlock I'm looking for is a healing salve or a triage kit. I'd never spend more than 3 or 4 in a sitting simply to stop from inventory overload. Trinkets are the highlight here. While there are a lot of dull, unusable trinkets here, getting a clutch rare can win you a run on its own and give you a permanent scaling tool to search for in future runs. Obviously, you don't want to dump all your points here because you can only use so many trinkets in your current run and don't want to have to throw a bunch away. But if you're in this tab to toss your excess candles, this is far superior to any other item unlock. Let's move to the Timeless Wood, where you can unlock memories. Memories are temporary hero buffs that persist between runs only if you are successful in your mission. This is intended to help scale for the eventual full 5-act game, where you can challenge yourself by beating all confessions with a single team. It costs 12 just to get to the unlock stage, and another 5 for each individual memory. This is entirely a late game candle dump, and is pretty worthless until you unlock almost every other tree. Thanks for watching. Follow and subscribe for more Darkest Dungeon 2 content. Let me know in the comments your thoughts on the best early unlocks at the Altar of Hope.